Up with KREM begins now.
Well, hi, friends. Good morning. Thanks so much for starting off your Tuesday with us. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Nicole Hernandez. This week is going to be weird. We're going to go from fall right back to summer.
And now we're climbing again.
Now we're climbing. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick here with us. Thomas, the question I have is, what's more normal, summer or fall?
Yeah, well, it feels like it should be in between the two, because yesterday at 60 degrees, that was a little too cold. For this week at mid-80s, well, that feels a little bit too much like July. So we got to split the difference at some point, maybe for the first official day of fall, which would be next Monday. But as of this morning, this is one of our coolest days that we've had in quite some time here, on the back of that day yesterday where we were only at 60 degrees for the high temperature in Spokane, just 62 in Pullman because it was cloudy, maybe a bit misty at times. But those clouds have departed, leaving the area cold this morning, but the summer sunshine still wins the day today. So expecting plenty of areas in the 80s this afternoon.
Thank you, Thomas. Let's take a live look now at traffic at I-90 and Hamilton this morning. You can see there's not many cars on the road at this point. It is coming up on 6:02 now, and things are looking good, not just here, but across all of I-90 and some of our other major highways as well. If you're heading out the door, it doesn't look like there's any major traffic impact.
New overnight, the Spokane City Council voted unanimously to create its own 911 dispatch system.
Now, you might remember the Spokane Regional Emergency Communication Center decided to stop servicing the city earlier this year. Shrek told the city they would need their own dispatch system by the new year, saying they made this change because the city opted out of their new computer-aided dispatch system. Now, the city is working to fund and organize Spokane United 911.
Meantime, leaders with Spokane County Fire District 9 are awaiting a big decision from the state health department. They want to start providing their own ambulance transport services as soon as next summer. KREM 2 Shannon Mowdy explains.
In North Spokane County, firefighters with District 9 have a big job, covering around 7,000 emergency calls across 125 square miles every year. That job could soon get a major boost.
A first for District 9 and a first for a full-time service from a fire department in Spokane County.
Chief Matt Vinci says if a transport license with the State Department of Health is approved, this district will become the first to run its own ambulance service.
24/7, 365, and there'll be advanced life support units.
An analysis also showed District 9 ambulances could get to a scene faster, cutting response times by 3 to up to 12 minutes.
Cost, I'll say, was a big driver as well. AMR went up to a $4,700 transport fee in District 9. And we just felt like we could provide a higher level of service at a much lower cost and implement it in a very reasonable amount of time.
Cost is also why the district is providing a fee waiver for ambulance users who live in District 9. That's regardless of insurance, Chief Vinci says, meaning most people who live in the district will pay nothing for emergency transport.
We don't want ambulance transport bills to get in the way of folks getting high quality care when they need it most.
If approved, the new service would start in July. It will also mean new jobs in the 3 stations where the ambulances will be housed.
There are 15 new firefighter EMTs, firefighter paramedics that'll be assigned to 3 shifts across the district.
Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
Happening today, the Spokane Bicycle Advisory Board holding a special mobile meeting tonight. They'll be touring facilities and talking about future opportunities for the facilities. This meeting is open to everyone and will actually be held on bikes. This is the route they'll be making starting at 5 o'clock tonight at City Hall.
A former Spokane tribe official was sentenced to 25 counts of bank fraud and 1 count of embezzlement from the tribe's children's funds. U.S. Attorney Pete Serrano says that Tawny Willow Colvin committed these crimes while she was employed by the tribe. He said she had access to the funds that helped care for children in need. Serrano says Colvin transferred a total of $50,000 from the bank account and another $50,000 in cash. The crimes continued even after she was fired in October of 2023. Colvin's sentencing is scheduled now for December 15th.
New details now. One of the men charged in a string of burglaries in Seattle targeting rapper Macklemore and athletes pleaded not guilty in court yesterday. Patrick Masonnet faces 10 charges, felony charges. He was arrested late last month on a warrant related to a robbery of a Bellevue jewelry store. Police say they recovered a Seahawks Super Bowl championship ring and a Seattle Sounders championship ring from his home. He's due back in court later this month.
The 2025 Boulevard race is officially this Sunday. Race officials say they're expecting around 4,000 runners and walkers on the course this year. They're calling the course, quote, the most fun you will ever have over 4 miles. It's quite the promise, but they might actually make it happen. There's going to be cheer zones along the route with marching bands, DJs, and even scream tunnels. Registration is $30. To register and for more information, you can visit our website, KREM.com.
New this morning, prices at the pump here in the Pacific Northwest are soaring as Washington State actually just passed California for the most expensive gas in the country.
So KREM 2's Christian Garza is live this morning to explain what these prices look like ahead of your morning commute. Christian?
Yeah, good morning, Tim and Nicole. Well, the spike at the pump across the state here in Washington is due to a multitude of different things, from the major shutdown of a pipeline of fuel coming into the Northwest to the high gas tax, which actually started in July, that funds different projects like construction and bridges as well. Now, according to Gas Buddy's survey of close to 200 stations across Spokane, the average price of gas has risen close to 24 cents per gallon just last week alone, averaging about $4.30 a gallon, which is just shy of the Washington State average of $4.66 a gallon. The survey also shows that prices per gallon here in Spokane are about 25 cents higher than a month ago and about 58 cents higher than last year. The national average price for gas has fallen about 4 cents per gallon this week, averaging about $3.12. Now, despite this upward trend here across the Pacific Northwest, the head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy, Patrick DeHaan, says the good news is that the transition to cheaper winter gasoline begins tomorrow across most of the nation, and with improvements underway in the West Coast market, I expect that average gas prices will continue to decline in the weeks ahead in most states. Idaho is not seeing much relief though either. According to AAA, most Idaho drivers anticipated lower prices at the pump after Labor Day, but that just isn't possible because of neighboring supply chain issues here in Washington, which have actually made prices increase. Today's average price in the Gem State is about $3.51 per gallon, which is up about 5 cents compared to last week. However, it's 7 cents less than it was this time last year. And so, long story short, the good news is that relief is in sight as we get closer and closer to those winter months here in the Pacific Northwest. The bad news is we're just going to have to tough it out for the next few weeks until it actually takes effect. In Spokane, Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
Thank you, Christian. It is 6:09 on this Tuesday morning, and what has been one of our coldest mornings in nearly 3 months here in Spokane. Low temperature got down to 49 degrees at exactly 4 a.m. Since then, it's right at 50, but still one of our coldest mornings we've had in a long, long while. This off of the backs of a cold day yesterday, but not today. With the sunshine around, it'll get us back into the 80s. So basically, today is more than 20 degrees warmer compared to what it was yesterday.
A key part of Spokane's history is on display starting this week, but with a bit of a twist. The historic D.C. Corbin House, also known as the Corbin Art Center, is hosting historian-guided tours of the property. Corbin made his fortune in the railroad and mining businesses. Corbin's wife then donated the house to the Spokane Parks Department more than 80 years ago.
You come in, you view the facility, you see it in just a different light of what it usually is. You get to see the tin roof and Burbank Interiors and NS Fine Furniture and how their interior designers have come in and really reimagined what it would look like if maybe DC Corbin lived here now.
The last guided tour will be Saturday at 1 p.m. and it costs about $10. Proceeds go towards preserving this piece of Spokane history.